Yep. Yeah, he's probably in 202, in 202, 209. Is he over there? Just, what's that thing? Where's Paula? And open the door.
So,
I just want to test this thing first. Oh, works. All right. My name is Victor, and my advisor is Dr. Bo Hadlo, right here in the audience. And I'll be, for my CS498, I'll be designing and implementing Android application with the name Homebind 101. This is the agenda of my presentation. It consists of application description, solution design, resources and tools, my objectives as a student, goals of the project, and time schedule and grading. So what is the problem I'm trying to solve? Each application, each web application, Android application, or Apple application is designed to solve some kind of problem. What I'm trying to solve here, home buying can be a very stressful experience for anyone who is searching for the right house, especially if you don't have any previous experience. Here I'm thinking about myself. In the next year probably I'll be looking for the house, actually planning to look for the house, and I never bought it, so I don't know what to look for. What do I have to go through? What kind of inspections to pass? So, and there are a lot of information available online, but when you are at the particular house with the realtor, it is very easy to forget something important. You have to research neighborhoods, inspect the home, research schools, and a lot more. And when you are at the house, you'll be like, wow, I'll move in this house, and you're like, where's the paper? Give it to me to sign. And then it's too late. Then 2 weeks later, you realize there is no schools around or something else. And at that point, it will be too late. So there should be an easy, accessible list of the things to do and the things to look for. So the buyer can check the things of the list while on the property, while he's talking to the realtor. One of the solutions is just to create a big paper list with like 70 to 100 items and go over it. Every time you have to create another list. So probably it's not the best solution we can come up with. So what is Homebind 101? Homebind 101 is an Android application based on the free City of Boston course with the same name, Homebind 101. Actually, during this semester I took this course, and I took this course in the City of Boston. I think every city offers something like this. It's free, it's pretty informative, and this is just an example. This is a book. It's about 200, 250 pages with all the information they provide, so you know what you're doing when you actually buying the real estate. So the application basically will be a list of the all important things needed to help in buying a home. It will ensure that you don't forget to inspect everything. It will come pre-populated with a full list of home and house buying inspection items. The user can check and uncheck items every time he or she goes on a house and home hunting. The user can enter numerous properties and a list of items for each house or each property, or a generic list of the inspections items can be modified. All right, my learning objectives as a student are next. So my main goal here is to learn Android system and to learn Android development. This is like number one. Plus, I want to learn about databases and their implementation specific to Android system to gain hands-on experience in carrying out tasks involved in a complete software development cycle. I just want to give you an idea. It might sound a little bit confusing, so I want to give you an idea of what I'm trying to create. This application will be a native Android application which will be downloaded from the internet, from Google's Play, and installed on your phone. When you open the application for the first time, it will consist only of two items. There's going to be a list of inspections or a list of items you have to go through, and the application will already have this installed. For example, if there are, I will have the precise list of the things you have to go through, let's say in the Boston area. It can be 70 things, for example. There will be a small counter right in the corner, and when you choose the house to look at, you can add this property to your list by pressing this button, add the property. So in this example, and I drew it in a paint, it won't look like this probably, but it's just an example. There are two properties over here, 350 Highland Ave and 120 Main Street. So for example, I'm going to 120 Main Street, and I still have 59 things to do. And not to forget, I press the button, and I go into this property. It will have several buttons such as buy this house, pictures and metrics, a list of inspections, which is the most important item here, mortgage calculator, tips, and if you don't need this property on your phone anymore, you can just delete it. So if you buy this house per se, won't transfer your money over to the realtor or anything like this. You can just call your realtor or make an appointment with him or send him an email. Well, the main feature of this menu is a list of inspections. The list of inspections is a generic list of inspections specific to some particular area. In this case, it will be Boston area, and the phone will already have this list preloaded. As soon as you add the property, the list will be associated with it. And for example, you have 70 items total to do while you actually shopping for this house. So when you go into the list of inspections, it will have several subsections such as planning, inspections, pre-approval documents, mortgage and closing, neighborhood. These are just examples. And if you go in a particular section, like, well, what do I need to collect? What kind of pre-approval documents do I have to collect? And it says, well, you have to bring your employment documents, your bank statements, loan information, W tax return, lease information, signed contract, etc., etc. So you already have employment documents and W2 tax return. You can just press the button, should press it, uncheck it, and your counter will go down. So you still have 9 more things to do in pre-approval document section. Well, this application will have a database installed on the phone. It won't be a huge database. It will consist of those properties that you will add there yourself. And most likely I will use SQLite as the database for the project. Tools that I will use for the project. The most important tool is Eclipse IDE, which will help me to create a code for the project. It actually will take all the in-between steps that we have to go through in order to create the APK, which is Android package file. It will take all this in-between steps, and it will give us APK Android package file on exit. So we'll give the Eclipse Java file, and we'll get APK file on the exit. Android software development kit, Android virtual device emulator, LG Android phone I will only need if I decide to implement a picture option of the application. It's actually when you go on the property and this is a living room, and you take a picture of the living room and you store it in a section of your application that contains pictures. Then I have to use an actual phone, which I have. It's an LG Android phone, and I will use it in case I have to test this feature, since Android emulator doesn't support the camera option. And SQLite database. Resources for my projects are CS498.tv. It's a great open Harvard course about Android and iOS development. I actually heard about it from Bala. Bala told me about it. It's a great source, a lot of lectures, a lot of nice tools. And another, well, I can say main source is android.development.com. List of deliverables for the project. Android application itself, project report and documentation, and project presentation slides. Time schedule. During the winter break, I will go over intro to Android, preparing and planning. Week 1, intro to Android, software installation. Week 2 is design and database. Week 3 to 8, application development. This is probably the most consuming part. Week 9 to 10, formal testing, and last 2 weeks are CS498 preparation and actual presentation.
What about weeks 11 and 12?
Oh, I missed them. Well, we'll maybe I'll relax, or maybe I'll throw them in the application development. All right, grading schema. Presentation 10%, user interface 20%, Android application development itself 40%, database implementation 20%, and testing activities 10%. Personnel, me and my advisor, Dr. Hatfield. This is just a snapshot of the website that I'm going to use as my source of information for the list I have to create, the generic list. It's a cityofboston.gov, home by 101. Thank you for your attention.
Question.
Yes.
You have a button that says buy a house, and it's contact information for a realtor. How is that going to be provided?
You will, well, as soon as you meet your realtor for the first time, you put his information in.
If I may make a suggestion,
Sure.
most states have a board of registry for real estate brokers.
Mhm.
So if you have a way to say scrape that information and have it in the database, you might be able to make it a quick way to pick a realtor rather than have to manually enter everything.
That's a great idea. But how many realtors are on the board? 10,000? Do we need all that information? If you're
It would
working
be-
only
it
with
would
3
be-
realtors,
but
it's
this-
probably easier to put it in.
This application is trying to minimize the internet connection and keep everything on the local
Oh,
database.
actually, yeah,
It's just
I mean,
a
that's a good suggestion. I'll look into it, but I don't know if we need all the realtors to get that done.
Let's make 2 suggestions. I noticed with your design on the phone itself, the buttons are awfully small. I know on a 40-inch display it might not be that hard.
This
I know
is not an actual design.
No,
I
know.
I opened the paint and I put it into the paint. I kind of drew them. You know, it's very
It's one of those
generic.
things that plague like Windows 6.5, and you're like trying to hit a button, and you're gonna get
Yeah.
the opposite. So I'd probably try to make the buttons a little bit larger.
Yeah, well, this button, if you it's in the box. If you look at the screen of the phone, so the screen will only have like 6 buttons, so they will be pretty big. You can definitely aim at it with your finger.
Yeah, I would just say like maybe try to go more like square or whatever.
Sure.
And then the other thing is like as far as a resource, I don't know if you've ever heard of City Data. That's a good one for schools and stuff.
What is
Sorts like
it?
that. It's like a database for like the schools in the area, the crime rate, things like that.
Oh,
And you might
actually,
want to connect with that because
City-
that's really
yeah,
good as far as the
that's a great
resource
source, absolutely. Yeah.
goes. So.
Well, actually, I got a question about the list part there.
List bar, which one? Oh,
No,
okay, yeah.
like the list in general of like the planning, inspection, and stuff. On those lists, can you actually choose like which one to put into priority?
Yes, this probably will be an option. The application will have a generic list, which include all of the items, all of the inspections, which probably like 30 inspections that you have to go through. But if you think that, well, these 3 inspections are probably the most important for you, you will be able to delete the rest of them from this particular home.
Also, can you add anything to the list besides the generic list?
I thought about it. I probably won't implement this option since you mean basically like way to make notes or way to add another inspection item.
Let's say there's an inspection item on the list that if there's an inspection item that's not on the list.
Well, this application will have all the inspection items for this particular city, in this case Boston.
Okay.
All their up-to-date inspection items.
Okay.
So if you have to add something by yourself, I didn't think about this option. Probably would be useful.
Okay.
Fine. As a follow-on. So you say that it's going to be a list of inspections how are you gonna
Not only
sort the?
inspection is just
Well,
one.
I'm sure the rules might be different by, say, state or
Oh,
county
sure,
or whatever.
absolutely.
So how, what's your scope? Are you gonna just do
My scope,
Massachusetts?
no,
Or are you
my
just gonna
scope,
do-
my scope is city of Boston.
Oh.
Since this is where I'm planning to look for the place, and yeah, it could be modified to work with different areas and different states. But each small city has their own regulation.
But even within the Boston rules are changed probably on a yearly basis.
Exactly.
What you're gonna do, you're gonna update the application or you let users themselves to
Update.
figure out? So you will be responsible for maintaining this thing up to date to the last legal codes and wiring status and.
Well, in
whatever.
theory, this app will belong to the city of Boston. In theory, right?
Okay.
And they will be updating it once a year.
No, I'm saying that this is a useful application just for people, so if you,
Oh,
for
okay.
example, make it happen, you sell it, then you sort of taking responsibility for updating all the information, because if you don't, I don't know, I might ask my lawyer, I bought this application, and it turns out that half of this stuff is old, can I sue the guy?
Yeah, but when I'm selling the application, all the legal responsibilities will transfer to whoever bought it. So city of Boston will be responsible.
I don't, that's the legal stuff, I don't know, I'm just
Sure.
playing with devil's advocate.
Under pictures and metrics, would that be, you like select that and would it open the camera app or? how
Yes,
would
it will
that
be. It
work?
will have, for example, like square footage. Well, this option will be implemented only if I have time to do it. But it will have square footage, parameters of the house, and a list of rooms. Like let's say living room number 1, living room number 2.
And that would be information that you would enter?
Yeah, you press the living room number 1 and take a picture. Picture will be stored right in there.
Actually, the house plans might not be, might be online on I know the town I live around here, all the house plans of the town are online in the city hall. So you might even be
Yeah,
able
that's
to get the house
That's
plans.
enough. That's enough. Absolutely.
Victor, how are you planning to test it?
I'm planning to test it using Android emulator 2 and actual Android device.
No, I mean, will you be buying a house?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
test it?
actually, yeah, this is, I wish I could. Probably I'll be buying a house and testing it, but I don't know if it happens in the next semester. I have too much stuff to do. Maybe right after. Any other questions? Sure.
I would just follow up off of what he said before. I think that maybe you may be thinking a little small as far as just going with Boston. I would probably generalize it more and give them the option. So, your first set of options and lists, maybe that can't be changed at all. But once you go in a few, maybe like once you go in a list of inspections, you can give the owner of the app to add another category and then another list inside of that. So if they get into a special situation where below neighborhoods, they might want to add a category, and inside of that category they can add. So to make something just to the Boston area, although it is a very popular area, I think you should be probably maybe going a little bit more general and a little wider scope.
Sure. I mean, it's a good suggestion, and if this application will receive some kind of attention, we'll be doing it, of course. But as of now, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Just go with easy, start it easy, and then build it up. So just take one city. City of Salem, city of Boston.
And just one observation, that we've seen a couple of proposals here that are so overly ambitious. One objective of 498 is to come up with a proposal that is implementable.
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it, and this looks implementable to me. I just started learning Android development just several weeks ago. I will need another semester to go and to finish this project actually. So I don't want to overpromise.
Right.
Yeah, with the pictures and metrics, that would not only include like the basic outside of the house, but also include each room with each measurements.
Sure. Yeah.
Would it also then also include like let's say about a yard measurements too?
It will include all the measurements that you have to have inside and outside the house, like square footage of the house, all the general parameters. But again, this section over here is only, if I have time. We'll probably have enough time, but this is not my primary goal here.
It's for the version to zero, yeah?
Yes, exactly. 1.2. All right, thank you.
So, at 12 o'clock, Bala is the last presenter.